My name is Joey. My wife is Jessica. We have a son, Luke, who's 13 years old and has cystic fibrosis. When we found out that Luke had cystic fibrosis, it was a bombshell to us. I'm not a big crier, and I think I cried for almost 2 weeks straight. We finally dug out of that hole, both emotionally and physically, and then started getting involved with charitable, endeavors for cystic fibrosis, which led up to us founding Cure CF in 2015 with a few other families.
My name is Leggett and Wicker, and I have boy-girl twins, and they're 2.5 years old, and they both have cystic fibrosis. So my husband and I are kind of navigating that life right now.
My name is Zach. My wife is Courtney. Our son is Cameron. He's 13, and he has cystic fibrosis.
I'm Julia. My 2-year-old daughter Hazel has cystic fibrosis.
She was diagnosed with CF in utero, and Julia started reaching out, and it put us in touch with the families at Cure CF.
Sarah and I have been with Cure CF since the beginning. We had our first baby, and they called us a week later to tell us that they thought that she had cystic fibrosis. And so,
I'm Daryl. This is my wife, Meredith. We have a 6-year-old son named Samuel who fights cystic fibrosis every single day.
When your child's given a diagnosis like that, you think it's a life sentence, that their days are numbered. Cystic fibrosis is a defect in a protein that sits on the cell surface.
Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease. It's inherited. Both the mother and the father have to have the gene for it.
CF is a progressive life-shortening disease. A person with cystic fibrosis, their body doesn't process salt in the same way that a normal body does.
It creates thick, sticky mucus that can clog up your lungs. It also affects the pancreas. It affects the liver and has also mental health effects as well for kids and patients with CF.
It really affects just about every part of the body.
It's pretty much any of your internal organs, and there's not a cure.
Cure CF was founded by a group of parents here in Louisville, and coincidentally enough was founded over a beer, as a lot of good things always start with a beer.
We're different from a lot of fundraising groups that are paid staff. We're all volunteers, and the reason we support the mission so aggressively is because our kids' lives are at stake.
Being a parent-led board, I think, makes us more successful because we have that motivation. We will literally do anything to give our kids the best care.
It kind of gives a different perspective when you have people who are fighting that fight every day, who are getting up at 6 a.m. and giving their child an hour and a half of treatments, and then they're doing it again at 4:30 when they get home from school, and then sometimes doing it again that night.
And that's what's so powerful about our board, is that when we come home from board meetings, we get to see our motivation laying in their bed asleep. That's, what better motivation is there?
So our mission here is to cure CF, as our name suggests, but also to provide great quality of life and quality of care for our kiddos and for other folks in this community with cystic fibrosis.
We also want to make sure that kids that are going to be born this year and next year with CF have a different outlook, have a different hope than maybe we were given when we got the diagnosis.
We just want to save our kids' lives. We just want to bring in as much money as we can and funnel it through these research projects to find a cure.
Clinical trials are the basis for these new drugs, which are going to extend our children's lives significantly. The fact that people in Kentucky can participate in clinical trials without having to drive to Cincinnati or Indianapolis is huge.
It's starting to put us, Louisville, in the center of the discussion as far as finding a cure.
We only move the needle forward by having these clinical trials.
So the money that we're raising, the donations that come through the door, are making it possible to have local clinical trials. Those dollars fund the very trials that are saving our kids' lives.
So now we have tons of access to clinical trials that my child didn't have for the first 11 years of his life.
It's amazing to see the drugs that are being approved and how they're starting to affect people.
We are currently on a new drug that came out that has completely changed how Cameron's cystic fibrosis has affected him in the past year.
He has been so healthy. I could guarantee that Cameron is going to get married now. I could guarantee that that he's going to have a family. There is a major difference.
Fast forward to where we are now, and I think 4 or 5 drugs have come on the market that fix the underlying cellular defect, that are extending lives. And we've been told by Samuel's doctor that, at this point, we can expect him to have a normal lifespan. And wow, talk about something that a mom just really needs to hear.
We expect her to go, to college and have a good career and get married and have kids and grandbabies. And so I hopefully foresee that happening with these new medications that have come out.
People born with CF now have more hope than ever. My children are prime examples. Their bodies now function as if they don't have CF, just by taking this medication that has been funded throughout these years. So with this continued funding, with this continued progress, we're closer to a cure than we've ever been, and it's something that we can actually see happening in our children's lifetime.
There is significant progress being made every day and every year because of groups like us.
There's now drugs where there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and for those first few years, there wasn't even a light. We didn't know if we were in a tunnel. It was just pitch black. And now there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we continue to get closer and closer to that every day.
And it started with us just throwing a party. We threw a beer and pizza party in downtown Louisville under the 2nd Street Bridge. And the very first year, we had a stretch goal of raising $25,000. We ended up raising $63,000, and we've been going ever since.
Since 2015, we've raised over $3.3 million. So $3.3 million has been allocated to find the actual cure for cystic fibrosis.
An organization like Cure CF is needed because every dollar that we raise goes straight to the source of the problem.
So if we raise $100,000 in a year, $100,000 is going out the door.
We have a common motto. We like to party for a cure. We like to have fun. We're different than a lot of charities.
We have our signature event in the fall, and that's called Craft. It's a beer and pizza festival. And then we moved into the music space, and now we have a concert every summer called Spiropalooza.
We use our friends and our friends' friends to share our children's lives and connect them with the mission of why you should donate to cure cystic fibrosis, why you should donate to make days better for kids like Hazel.
For me, every single dollar counts because it means that my children can outlive me. It means that my children can live a full life and not have to worry about their life being cut short.
The goal is a cure, and so the goal is to get more and more people involved.
We need to sustain the momentum that we have, and that comes through donors and through the community continuing to support us. We need your help.
We need your help.
We couldn't do what we do without you.
Every dollar makes a huge difference in our quest for a cure for cystic fibrosis.
Every dollar counts.
Every dollar counts.
We like to make every dollar count. Every penny of your donation is going to go directly to finding a cure for cystic fibrosis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your donation.
Thank you for your donation. Every dollar counts, and we will keep doing this until we find a cure for CF.
We won't stop.
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 We won't stop until CF stands for Cure Found.
Cure found.
Cure found.
Cure found.